Alright, this is the second video my sick behind wanted to get done today. This is build project, and we're going to title it the Extreme 2012 Project. This is a Corsair Graphite 760T case that I got for free and I'm not super happy with. Apparently I cleaned up everything except that one little spot. But it works. It's big enough for what we're going to do here today. We're going to use the MSI P45 Neo that we picked up on eBay. This has a Core 2 Extreme QX6850 with 8 gigs of DDR2. And we also have an Arkham City Edition. Oh yeah, GTX 580. So we're going to put this system together and we're going to run it through its paces, get it added to our benchmark database, and we're going to see just how well one of these stands up in 2019. Plus, it's my first Extreme, and I'm wanting to make my next system another X. Right now, I'm kind of about a 5960X because those are still relatively affordable and they'll still outperform my i7 4790K. So let's get this started. Okay, so by now you guys are probably sitting there screaming at your screen, "You're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing, this is not how you build a computer." Okay, so here's the thing. This is not going to be a permanent system. This is going to be pulled apart after the benchmarks are ran and after this video is done and the components put back in storage. The reason is because when I got this motherboard, I found out that there are several bulging capacitors and one has leaked. So it is supposed to work. If it does not work, I'll get my money back. If it does work, then I still have 4 2 gig sticks of DDR2 and a QX6850 for 50 bucks, which is about what the processor is worth by itself. So either way, I come out ahead, but this motherboard is not going to be something that I'm going to be willing to use for any length of time. So once we are done, assuming that it does post, I'm not going to leave this system together. So I'm not worried about the grommet that's not back here. I'm not worried about this cable 4-pin that's hanging right across the middle, because realistically the system, most use scenario, is probably going to have half an hour to an hour of actual use time on it before I tear it back down and then either leave it in storage until I have a need for it, or somebody wants a cheap computer built that will do better than anything you will find on the market today in what most people's price range is for office use. Better that this will outperform a Chromebook, this will outperform a $200 desktop that they're going to go buy from some random shop or Best Buy or whatever, and this will absolutely be a better option than like a $500 or $600 computer for somebody that just wants a basic thing. But this motherboard I'm not going to trust, so I'm not being super careful or taking a super long time with this. Make sure everything is safe and grounded so we can run our benchmarks and get things up and running. And if I get some time down the road and have a solder mentor, then this would be a good board to recap. But MSI boards, this would be my third 775 MSI board now from this time frame, and they're not reliable in general. So even if I put in high quality capacitors in it, just in general how reliable the board would be, I don't know. But this would still make, and we'll see how it performs, but this would still beat out a lot of the low-end systems that I see on a daily basis in the wild. So this is about ready to post. I did not mention our power supply. I'm using my Antec True Power Quattro 850 watt It is half modular. The high power rails are not modular, and then the low amperage drive rails are modular. So motherboard connectors, the PCIe connectors and all that stuff are not modular on it. So the last thing that I need to do is to plug in the Arkham City GTX 580, and then we will be good to see if this will post. So that should be interesting. Come on. And yep, we're in. Try to do this without completely blocking your view. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, moment of truth. Okay, I guess it works. Let's see if I can get into a setup here. There we go. Cool. Alright, I'm good with that. Even has its date and time correct. Alright. Core 2 Extreme Q6850 at 3 gigahertz. CPU frequency 3.33. Physical memory 8192. So nothing. Let's see, just want to make sure. Disabled. DRAM, clock gen tuner, auto. I just want to make sure he doesn't have this overclocked because I'm. Default, okay, so he might have this overclocked. There we go. No, that's what I thought. Because I don't know anything about this system, I don't want to be overclocking it. Until I've tested it. Okay. Okay, cool. I pulled a hard drive. Don't remember where I put it, but I pulled it. So I'm going to hook up a hard drive and the optical drive, and this had a copy of Windows 7 with it, so let's see what happens. Well, we were close. So this is kind of what I was afraid of. The system is put itself into an infinite reboot loop. It did post fine. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want my power supply to get damaged. It posted fine. I put the plugged in the mouse, the optical, and the hard drive, and I got into the BIOS setup to make sure that it could boot from the CD drive first because I don't know what's on that hard drive. And the keyboard froze. It let me get into it, but once I was in the BIOS setup, it was not doing anything. And the keyboard, the numlock light was just barely flickering, like it had a little bit of power, but not enough. Normally I would be concerned that it is something in the power supply. However, because the motherboard has known and clearly bad capacitors, I'm not concerned that this is my power supply. I'm pretty positive that it's the motherboard. Power supply could have bad caps. It's possible. I haven't used the power supply in almost a year, but I don't think that's going to be it. I'm pretty sure that this motherboard is shot. So I'll get with eBay and see if there's anything that I can do with that, and see if I can get any kind of money back on that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I guess that's it for this video. So I'll tear this back down, and we'll see you in the next one. At least we have a QX6850, and I already had a ton of 2 gig DDR2 sticks, but hey, for that price, it was worth taking a shot on.